Welcome back, everybody, to Fast Times, LeBeaus Racing Podcast. I'm your host, Joe Smith, and I have the namesakes of the show, Dylan LeBeaus and David LeBeaus.
How's it going?
Good. Happy New Year's.
Yes.
Yeah.
So 2024.
I'm looking for Dylan to say something smart.
Something smart. It's not the new year yet. We're getting there. Well, the time of filming this, it's not the new year. Got it.
By the time it's out, it will
Yeah.
be. So, yeah. So, end of 2023. There's a lot to look back on. How do you guys, when you guys look back and think of the beginning of the year to how it is now, do you look at it as, man, that was a bummer, or was it successful?
Not at all. I think it was very successful. We really never stopped racing from his championship before, right into the red eye, to a car rebuild, putting him in biscuit, starting to get the sportsman ready. We didn't stop. I think Dylan run 20 races last year. 19 races?
Yeah,
okay, 19 races last year.
That's a lot of races.
That is. I mean, in any division we could put him in, whether it be truck, sportsman, or E-Mods, we participated.
Mm-hmm.
So
I like that. Participated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we were there.
We were there. Yeah. We weren't always the greatest, but we were definitely.
Well, I
there.
mean, I don't think we were junk. I think we're there, and when you have that many divisions, it's like I've said on this podcast before, it's very tough to be super good in one. You can be really good in one division. When you try to do 3 or 4, it spreads you a little bit thin. But I'm happy with our results.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got some wins this year,
Yeah.
podiums. We learned a lot this year.
Mm-hmm.
We built cars this year.
Yeah. Yes, we did.
So
multiple.
yes. So I'd say this year's been very successful in my book.
Yeah, and the numbers aren't exactly how I wanted them to be, definitely this year. But I feel like off the racetrack, I think I've progressed a lot.
Right.
Yeah. From the beginning of this year to now, I feel like a lot of things have changed, and a lot of them maybe not for the better, but a lot of them I feel like were for the better.
Well, I mean, we're constantly evolving, and if you just stick in one thing, you're never going to progress.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And so we traveled this year. Do you remember?
Was that in 23?
I think so.
I think it was in end of 22.
I don't know. They all run together
yeah.
for me. They all run together.
Yeah.
But I know we traveled.
Yeah.
We tried some different racetracks.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely learned a bunch there.
Yeah.
I'd like to do some more of that at certain tracks.
Yeah.
So I'd like to stay
with the
away
right
from.
gear this time.
The
gear was a big
went.
deficit,
We got our asses handed to us with the wrong gear.
pretty good. Yeah.
But that's the only way you're going to learn.
Yeah.
And
Now you know and you won't forget.
No, that's definitely you're exactly
Well,
right.
I remember going to the track. We were under geared, and you were like, "Man, I want a championship with less gear." And
I did.
yeah,
I did, but
it's not.
that was
It's
a
not
long time ago.
1964 anymore. So.
Oh my god, that was 2000, dude. That was 2000. I won the championship at Volusia Speedway Park, and I had less gear than all those mugs out there. But that being said, man, that I'm gonna have a drink on that.
Making the old man feel old.
Yes, that was built motor stuff.
Yeah.
Crate motor stuff has changed the game.
Yeah, and to be fair, we just didn't have the right gear, so we were kind of just racing with what we had.
For those off tracks, for those tracks we travel with. But nevertheless, you went outside your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
We tried it, and what we've taken back from that, we've learned, and we'll move on from that.
Yeah. And with this year, I don't know if you would call it outside your comfort zone. I feel like as long as you're in a car, you're in your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Well,
But you had, well, you had Blackie
Right.
in the beginning, but then there was
Yeah,
the
right,
wreck.
Right.
But then you came back out with
With Biscuit.
and I think it was in April. You won.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so
Should have won.
Yeah, the first
The
race of the
first
year
one-
should have won that.
First one,
yeah.
he should have won it, and that, unfortunately, that was a ball joint.
Yeah,
went
that one,
bad on
that
him.
one
that's
hurt.
right. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
was-
and he had the fastest piece, but our buddy won that, who was on the
Mm-hmm.
the podcast, Curtis Robinson, and man, that one stung.
That one hurt. Yeah.
That one stung because he had the fastest car, but when that ball joint bent and broke
Right,
or
yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
he was just at the mercy of just trying to finish.
I remember that.
That was a tough one. We would have had another one
Yeah.
in the bag for that one, but those are
I mean,
painful.
there's a couple races we could say we probably could have had in the bag, like the race with Bobby's car right before we rolled out and realized the right rear was flat. Had to put a different tire on, and the stagger grew a ton.
Right.
And Corpy won that race. I feel like I was good enough to win the race. I just got too loose towards the end of it.
Right. Well, I mean,
Going back to the very first one, you had mentioned Curtis actually won that, and that was really good to see.
it was.
You know, like you said, he's your neighbor at the track.
Yep.
You know, you guys help each other out,
Yep.
and he was due.
He was.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yep. He was definitely due, and he ran a great race.
Yeah.
He was flawless. I watched, the whole time right there on pit road, and I was hoping for a falter, and he just continuously got stronger and stronger. I was like, man, because normally guys will fall off just a little bit towards mid or latter in the race. He didn't. He really wanted that thing. So congrats to him, and like I said, he's a friend of ours, and we're happy to see him. We want to win as many as we can, but that one we kind of gave that one away. I feel like that one should have been ours. But Dylan's had to come back from tougher ones.
Mm-hmm.
But that one, I think I think we might have been just a touch too confident on that one.
I think so too. Yeah, I think it kind of put me in my place for the year.
Yes.
Starting the season off like that. I think it kind of.
There wasn't a lot of
Yeah.
cars there.
Yeah.
And
then, like in the heat race, we obliterated them.
yeah, some of the heavy hitters
Yeah.
weren't there. Hank wasn't there, and I don't think Corpy was there. Definitely 41,
Yeah.
35 wasn't there. So we kind of felt like this might be
This might be.
the time,
Yeah.
and it's going to be kind of just a kind of an easy one.
Yeah.
But nope, and then you never can let your guard down.
Yeah.
Well, and it seemed like that class beefed up after that.
Yeah.
did.
I mean, there were several cars. So
It did, and there's a lot of good cars out there. If they all show up, you will probably have about a 15 to 17 car field if they all show up
Yeah.
at one time. So it's a good division, and I think it's growing and it's gonna be around a while.
yeah. Well, and then so you won actually 3 races this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how many heats? I know you won at least one.
I don't know, because every time I'd win the heat race, I never won the feature. I've never done that where I win heat and feature. I think I have more heat wins than feature wins. I'm not exactly sure how many I got, but yeah, there's a couple nights I can think. So at least 3 heat wins.
Okay. So maybe not a resolution, but we'll make that next year's goal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to try to win
to
heat and
do
feature the
both,
same
yeah.
night. Yeah.
Yeah. Would you agree with this? All of us here, that this year he started in the back more than any other time.
Yeah.
I'm sure it wasn't by design.
Yeah.
But he not a lot from the pin.
No. Yeah.
Had to do it the hard way.
Mhm.
Which I'm kind of happy about.
Yeah.
I am. I mean, I don't want you to start from the pole and go out there and win. I want you to start from the back and race everybody.
Yeah.
So as much as we want an easy win, you want to be able to show that you can get from the back to the front.
Mhm.
So, but that I noticed that a lot this year. Every time you drew, you're like, well, I'm in the back.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm in the
and then
back.
whenever I draw good, I had won the week before, and they make you start in the rear. Well,
Well, yes.
Yeah, there were some divisions where I seen where someone won the week before and then got to start on.
Yeah,
start on
well,
pole.
you always seem to have that,
Yeah.
but they seem to remember us.
Yeah.
And there was a couple of times too. There was like mechanical issues that also caused you to start in the back.
Yeah, we had a fuel pump push rod go bad.
Yeah.
Had a ball joint go bad this yeer.
Had not been able to get into gear.
Yep.
Yes, in the Sportsman, we had
Yeah.
a great car.
Yeah,
and
finally
a good starting
getting
spot,
starting third. Yeah.
and that sucker would not go into gear
Yeah.
for nothing. And it wasn't the fault of the transmission. The linkage, actually where the
Yeah.
linkage bolts on the transmission had slipped, and it was not.
And I had no clutch to boot, so
Right.
I'm trying to shift it with no clutch. That was
And I kept telling, just jam it in gear.
And
you're yelling on the radio, I'm jamming it. It's not going. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, you definitely had your moments this
Yeah.
year. But fast forward to we were able to win the championship. And I think you finished second or third in that race, or what? I don't know.
I think I finished fourth on the track, but then the winner got disqualified.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's right.
so we were
Yeah.
third. We were third,
Yeah.
and had to start from the back.
Mhm.
So you passed more cars than everybody,
Yeah.
as usual. But right into getting a phone call from one of our sponsors and another sponsor that we had a prolate. We could run in the Governor's Cup. And you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, well, they said we got a prolate to run, and there was a prolate there under a lot of stuff, so
Yes.
it wasn't like just hop in and go race it. It was
No.
in pieces. There
No,
was
It was a prolate that they said you can race it, but you've got to put it together.
yeah. I think I have a picture of it. Literally, all it had on it was roof and quarter panels.
Yeah.
Everything else was off of it.
Right.
And this had to be done
In 5
in
weeks.
weeks.
Yeah.
5 weeks.
5
We-
weeks.
While we're racing.
Yeah, and we were so appreciative of the opportunity, but they had the car for 5 years, and we had 5 weeks to get it ready, and that means every single rivet from the nose piece, the tail piece, from the roof to the frame had to be gone through and checked and templated and just make sure it can run.
Yeah.
you
Right.
know? And so we took on, as soon as he won the championship, we didn't stop. We went straight into picking up this car and getting started on getting it ready to race the Governor's Cup. And most guys would probably say, "Well, we'll just run a regular race," but we went for the Governor's Cup. This is the one of the crown jewels
Right.
of Florida racing. People come from all over to race this race. So
And what a debut that makes. You know?
right. So we got it together. Tim's from Precision Autoglass and Derek from Daytona State Jewelry made that happen. Dylan and I, Doug Howard at the shop.
Yep, Sensei.
And Finney, Brian Finney. We got the car all together, scaled, ready to go, and then we had to bring it over to Brian at Finney Racing to make sure the shocks and springs were the correct stuff, make sure that the thing fit the template, and any last minute stuff, and then get it out there and have Dylan get comfortable in a prolate. He's never been. Well, he was in one, which was Kobe Clements, just for a very short time, and see if the car would even do okay. And really,
It was enough to give you the bug, though, wasn't it?
Well, anything faster than a 602 crate motor will give me the bug.
right. So, from what I seen, everything was looking positive. Positive. We were making gains, losing a little bit, learning a bunch.
Yeah.
Because it's a different animal. It's not the same as an E-Mod or a Sportsman or a truck. It's a total different animal.
Yeah, and the playing field's completely different. Like, I kept walking by one trailer, and every single time this kid's car hit the racetrack, he had a brand new set of tires.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
that's $900.
yeah,
a pop.
every time you hit the racetrack.
That's $900.
Wow.
Yeah. So, we learned a ton. Dylan was able to qualify it in the top 10 for his first time out, and everything was looking positive for a solid run. I mean, that was my goal, was just finish the race. It's a prelude to the Governor's Cup, which is a big deal. Finish the race, learn what we can, because we're in a different lane now. Unfortunately, the radiator went out. The car had sat for quite some time, and it didn't give us any indication that it was going to go out, but it got a pinhole, and it drained the water.
Yeah, pretty much right after qualifying, I'm climbing out, and everybody's pointing underneath the car, and there's
and it's a race
impound race. Yeah,
where you can't screw
touch
with the car.
after, yeah.
So we had a decision to make, whether we pull the car out of the line, maybe try to put some stop leak in it, but anytime you try to do a chemical repair, it's just a Band-Aid.
Right.
It's not going to fix it. You might get lucky, but anyways, he was able to get a few laps out of it, and
We made 30 laps, I think.
Yeah, I think it was like 30.
and give him some confidence to know he can do it. That's the thing in racing, that there's always that unknown, that can I do it? Same with me in ARCA. Yeah. I wasn't sure if I could do that. And when I was able to, and then I wasn't able to continue to do it, it kind of sucked.
Yeah.
But at least I knew I could. At least I knew I had what it took to be there. Now he knows at this point, yeah, he can do it.
Right. So, and question to you, I know, with you driving NRE out there at Daytona, they're not really race cars, but
They're race cars. Yep.
okay. So,
Yeah.
comparably, would you compare it to something like that?
The Prolate?
The Prolate, yeah.
Not necessarily. The cars we drive at Daytona are more like an actual NASCAR stock car. They're 3,400 pounds, truck arm cars, where this car's 2,800 pounds, 3-link car. They're just... A race car's a race car. They got 4 wheels and a steering wheel. But
Right.
the Prolate compared to an actual cup car like that, where if I were to get into an ARCA car, it'd be much more similar to
The
cars
Prolate?
to the cars at work.
Oh, at
NASCAR
work.
racing
Okay,
race
okay.
cars,
I
yeah.
think just the fact that he's going fast all the time is helpful. They're apples and oranges when it comes to Daytona cars versus New Smyrna cars versus Citrus or Auburndale cars, or different animals, but yet he's comfortable at speed.
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas a lot of guys have to take time to get acclimated, where he really doesn't. He's comfortable with his Hans, comfortable with his helmet on, in a fire suit, bolted down to the race car, belted down. That's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't take him long to get He can go fast, quicker than other people. Not everybody, but some people. I know it took me a few laps to get going whenever I took a long time away from a race car.
Yeah.
Where Dylan's always in a race car. So to me, that's an advantage, in my opinion. And being that he stays in shape, he's in the gym, that's an advantage, So
Yeah, that's one thing that's different from last year. I'm about 50 pounds lighter.
yes, yeah, I know you had a really nice podcast with Brian Stevens, and you guys touched on a lot of stuff. But that's one thing, when I listened to your podcast, I was like, man, he forgot to say about his weight training. He's that serious about racing.
Right.
That it's not just, can I get in there and I can just drive the car loose or drive the car tight. This kid's in the gym almost every day. He's not in the gym, he's in the garage. So
And if he's not in the garage, he's in the race car.
right. So when you start putting those ingredients together, what do you get?
Right.
You get a driving so and so. You get it. And so that's what you're looking for. That's what you're looking. That's what he's committed to it. So that makes me committed to it. So I don't mind busting ass on his race cars. I don't mind it a bit. So going back to the pro late race, we learned a ton. We were ready for the E-Mod and Sportsman race the next day, but got rained out.
Yeah. Yeah, we were ready. I was ready. Like Bobby was saying, going from a pro late into an E-Mod, it's speed difference is going to feel so different, and it did. But you explained it to me a long time ago. It's all the same. You just get down the straightaway faster.
Yeah, and I think Woody told me that.
Yeah.
And he says, I asked him, because I was doing the same thing you're doing. I was jumping around and driving different stuff, and he says, they're all the same. Just the straightaway's shorter.
Yeah.
You get down there quicker.
Yeah.
And that's, and he was right, but that corner comes up a lot quicker too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But moving forward on into the next step is once we got the prolate done and brought back, we decided to put we went from like one of the prettiest cars.
Yeah, that definitely was embarrassing. We roll this prolate out of the
and it's
enclosed.
gorgeous. It's literally
it's because I didn't rub nobody. I didn't do nothing. It's still spotless. Like. And so then in comes Beef on a raggedy open trailer.
Yeah,
And
Beef looks like it just been through a demolition derby.
Yeah.
And it didn't win.
Yeah.
And then we bent it up more getting it off the trailer.
Yeah, so that was even more embarrassing. So we
looked at each other and we were like, we got to fix this. We got to do this body. It's and we asked around a little bit about getting it done, and everybody's busy.
Mm-hmm.
No one's got time to do it. So we decided to take on the project ourselves.
Yeah.
And so
and what a transformation it was.
Yeah. And it came out amazing. We took the body off. Dylan took it and then rebent it, brought it back to the shop, and then we started mounting it. Rick bought a new nose for it, new glass for it, and you did the roof
panel.
on it. The roof was. I don't think there was any saving that. I didn't think there was anything left. But you brought it back from the dead, and so thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I said earlier, it looked like I sent you a piece of crap, and it came back like a piece of a Ferrari or something. When I got it back, I was like, holy shit, I don't even want to drill this and put a rivet in it.
Yeah, it looks like a new roof.
I couldn't believe it.
Well, at least this time you had something to drill into.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It was like Swiss cheese.
There was literally nothing there
No, it was
holding that
bad.
together. It was rough. So
Yeah, so we're probably gonna get half a second just on aerodynamics.
yeah, and we learned a ton.
We
doing
did,
that
yeah.
body.
Having the body off it, we were able to do a lot of work that needed to be done.
Yes, and cleaning it up and taking up excess parts that didn't need to be on there, braces and things of that nature. And
it lived up to its name, Beefy, for sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So now it's a good looking race car, and we're gonna try it out here this coming week and get it tested, and hopefully we're as fast or faster than we were, because Beefy wasn't a bad. It was a pretty decent car.
Yeah, we were always solid with it. So.
Yeah. So we really had no time to kind of relax and pat ourselves on the back and say, okay, well that's 2 in a row for us. We just continually kept on racing, So no relaxing, no partying,
No. No time for it.
No. Just continue to race. So, what do you think you're going to do for next season? What kind of divisions are you looking to?
Well, obviously going forward or up is always the goal.
Mm-hmm.
Not exactly sure where that is going to put us for this coming season, but definitely continue to race for Rick. We're going to be running the 6-pack series with the Pro Late model. So just, of course, going to stay in the E-Mod with Bobby.
Right.
Just, like I always say, stay in a race car, no matter what it is. So if anybody needs a driver, I know a guy. But, just run the Sportsman, run the Pro, the
Good.
E-Mod,
Good.
Just try to stay
So
in
we're
it.
not slowing down any. You're
No.
selling it. Okay.
No.
So I shouldn't be looking for any like time off or anything like that.
Nah.
I was just wondering.
Yeah,
No,
you're not
Just
going to get that
check.
lucky.
Molly wants to go fishing. She's
Yeah.
got a boat.
I'm sure there'll be a couple rainouts.
Well, I enjoy it. I can't ask for a better partner. You love racing as much as I do. The people around us, the Smiths, the Harrises, the Bells. I guess the list goes on and on. And
Yeah.
I don't want to miss anybody, and I don't want to say everyone, each individual, but that all fuels our fire.
Yeah.
Because we dig it. And we love racing. I'm sure we would race in every division if we had a chance. And don't forget, Jordan didn't want to race in your truck.
Yeah.
This year.
More
We kinda-
truck wins than I
We
have.
kind of passed. Get that trophy down here. We kind of passed that over real
Yeah.
quick, but she did.
She did it, yeah.
Yep, she did. So
Yeah.
I know we are working on the truck.
We are. Yeah, we're gonna run at Speed Weeks.
Bobby's got
a hold
Bobby
of it,
Blake
yeah.
got a hold of it, and normally when you and Bobby get together, usually
It's either gonna
something
be, it's either gonna
fast.
be really good or really bad.
Yeah,
There's no in between with me and
usually
Bobby,
something
yeah.
fast comes out of it. So, sometimes you have to just let someone else take a look at it.
Yeah.
I think I went to my extent with it, and for some reason I kept going back to ground zero, going back to the basics, and it wasn't getting the results I wanted to get.
And to be fair, you've never really worked with a metric chassis car. You've always you went from, correct me if I'm wrong, you went from a Camaro straight to modified stuff.
Yeah, it's always been Camaro modified stuff.
So you're used to the 3-link cars.
Yeah, but that's not an excuse, but I'm definitely listening and learning. And so I know that you can win in the trucks. It's not a speed thing. It's basically just giving you the piece that you need to get you through the 25 or 50 or whatever, how many laps they're running. So that's why, it's over there at Bobby's. And hopefully we make some gains with it.
Yeah.
We found a few things, so we'll see. Speed Weeks, it's going to be the truck,
Sportsman,
and Emon.
The week starts off with the Sportsman's trucks.
Okay.
Trucks will finish it off, and then in between, I'll be giving rides at Daytona. So I'm going to be a busy boy. Speed Weeks.
Well, I'll be working, but I'll come out and
You'll make an appearance. Yeah.
I'll do my best. I might bring Biscuit out there.
Are you now?
You never know. 'Cause me and Biscuit.
Did we put Jordan in Biscuit?
Maybe.
She's saying no.
Maybe.
So looking back on 2023, I think you guys could probably agree that there's been success and there's been a lot of firsts.
And challenges.
Yeah,
Yeah.
plenty of challenges. So going into 2024, I wouldn't say, I wouldn't ask what is your resolution, but for racing, let's just say, what are your goals?
Well, obviously to win every time I'm in a race car. That's usually the goal, is try to win. But I think, I don't know. I got to think about that. What's yours?
Mine is just continue where we left off. I feel like when we roll into the racetrack, we are a respected competitor. And that is all you can really ask for in racing.
Right.
We're not going to win every race. It's just
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. But to be there and just to have the respect of your competitors, to know that you're capable of winning, depending on where maybe you're starting that night, or the circumstances mechanically wise or whatever. I think that's what it's going to take. To me, that's success. Another championship, more wins, more podiums. I foresee that with Dylan. But I just, the expectation is just going in there and winning every single race and every single division you jump into. It's a nice Cinderella story, but it's not probably going to happen. But that's what I'm happy with that. I'm happy that we're out there and we're racing, we're competitive. We represent our sponsors well, represent our families well, our people well, and we're a kind of a go-to team. If people need something, they come over to our trailer. We're always there to help people. I think that's good. I think that's what racing's all about. Short track racing's all about. As he gets into the upper levels and gets to the pro stuff, well, I'm sure that changes. It's beyond where I've been. So it was uncharted territory for me. But I'm happy with where we're at. I think we're doing the right thing by him. And
maybe to wrap up the goals thing for 2024, you want to keep the momentum rolling going into the year,
right? And possibly win a championship in a different division, and we
more firsts.
Yes, yeah. And every year I learn more, and I'm sure he's learning more, So that's. And things constantly evolve in racing, so you have to be willing to change, and you have to be willing to try different stuff, and so that to me that's the goal, is continue where we've left off, continue that,
Right.
It's always tough to repeat, it's always tough. I know when I won the championship in 19, I was the target. The next race. I mean, no one gave a shit if they won the race. They just wanted to make sure they beat me because I was the champ.
Right.
So, and that's how it is. I mean, they're going to look at him as, well, I didn't win the race, but I beat that 88 or I beat that 75 or whatever car he's driving, 16. And he's the benchmark now. And of course, if they win, that's even gravy. But, that's kind of how racing is, and so he's got a lot on his shoulders to be a champion. He's got to hold himself well, and he's got to, carry the division, really,
Right.
People look to him as well, that's the champ right there. That's how he's doing it. That's how he looks, So we don't want to be out there, embarrassing our sponsors and ourselves. And we don't. We always look well, even with the stuff we're not sure about, like the pro late. We didn't come in like we were the big dogs by no means. We went humble, and we went in there and we just learned, and we didn't look bad. We were right there,
Right.
So I think we just keep that momentum rolling. You agree?
Yeah, my resolution is to go through less right rear wheels.
Yeah, for you guys that are listening to the podcast, or maybe Dylan loves to bang his right side tires off the wall, and those wheels and tires are expensive as shit. So I can't tell you, 2 weeks in a row we've lost 4 wheels.
Yeah.
But
For some reason, I can hear Mark Bell in my ear
yeah,
right
Mark's
now.
like, hey, you owe me some wheels, man.
Yeah.
And we do, Mark. We know we
Yeah.
owe you some wheels. But that's Dylan getting all he can get. And so I can't really be mad at him because I know he's getting all he can.
To be fair, the guy I'm driving for, his nickname used to be Bobby Ballbanger. So, gotta have something to live up to.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I was 2 and 4. That's where I spun out, 2 and 4. Every time, every lap. I didn't give up. I never lifted.
Well, Dylan's thinking if he hits it hard enough, he'll make that track a little bit
chassis
bigger.
adjustment.
Well, I'm going to have to put some extra bars on the right side so it doesn't get into the wheels. But yeah, we kid Dylan about that. And but that's him getting all he can get every single lap. So, it's just, damn it, it's like we're almost at the end of the race. We're like 5 to go. He hasn't had any damage, and there he goes, bam, right off the side off of turn 3, turn 4. I said, well, there goes that right rear. Oh man.
So, your 6-pack for the Pro Late, when's it start?
In March, I believe.
In March. Okay. So that's a first for you.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, the car was good. We got another radiator. Prater radiators come through.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome sponsor. Basically just we're going to go through the car again, kind of freshen, make sure everything's nut and bolted, and bring it back out and see where we stack
It's
up.
really almost like you're going to be racing 2 new cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I mean, Beefy will be this Friday, coming Friday. So he'll get a chance to test that Friday.
Yeah.
before
Now, I know the
season
poll
starts.
went out on Facebook. Rick put a poll out there
Yeah.
for the name.
Yeah. I don't know. The names kind of come to me, and then they're kind of like our pets, you
Yeah.
know, and we just kind of call them that so they know what we're talking about. So I don't know if it's going to change for
Yeah,
me.
and I worry. I don't know if maybe you guys can let us know if changing a name on a race car is like changing on a boat where it's bad luck.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I still call it beef.
Yeah.
I still call it beef. I mean, it's endearing to that car. I think that's just what I'm going to stick with. They can call it whatever they want, but I'll probably stick with it. But it was kind of nice to see all the different. Bandit was a cool name, you
Yeah.
know, but
Not sure it's that car.
I don't know. It just
I kind of like the Beefy 2.0.
yeah, Beefy 2.0 is what I think we started off with that because we trimmed it down so much, but I think it's just going to end up beef.
Yeah.
What it's going to end up, you know. So for me, I mean, they may change it, they may talk, but between that and Biscuit and Rolex and what else have we got? Blackie,
Yeah.
you know. So they just they take a life of their own, and we just name them. So when we're talking about it, we don't say, "Hey, the Sportsman," or "Hey, the E-Mod." Which one? Well, Bobby's. No. So we know what we're talking about.
Right.
So we name them all. I always have. So I'm not gonna change it.
Yeah.
But we're happy Rick lets us drive it. You know.
Yeah.
It's definitely.
It's still the cheapest car out there. I guarantee it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did really well
Yeah.
with this car, and we have a good time with it. And
Yeah.
we laughed like pirates at first because it was so beat up and so ugly, and we thought it was kind of funny. But after the prolate, it wasn't funny.
It got
anymore.
old pretty quick.
Yeah, it wasn't funny. We're
Yeah.
like, damn, that needs a body.
Yeah.
Really bad.
And I'll have to do the before and after
Yeah.
Yes.
pics on the podcast.
Big difference.
Yeah.
Big difference. So
All right. So what else?
I don't know. We got a little something special going on.
Yeah.
Should we
couple
would we
things
poke that in there?
special. Let it come naturally.
Okay. All right. Well, we have a little something special. We'll talk about the next podcast. How about
There you
that?
go.
Now you've got everybody
Tune in
hooked.
for the next
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah. So now they've got to come back.
I'll have my sexy glasses on.
Yep.
And we'll talk about it. My wife is dying over there. But also,
Yeah. Unfortunately, this morning the news came out that Cale Yarborough passed away.
yep,
So we figured have him riding with us this podcast.
absolutely,
Yeah. Condolences and prayers to the family.
absolutely, one of the all-time greats.
Also want to give a shout out to a buddy of mine who's going through a lot right now up in Kentucky. So he also races late models, but on dirt
Okay.
up there. He's been in the hospital for I think over a week now, and he's got some kind of neurological thing going on, and the doctors are having a real hard time trying to figure it out.
Okay.
So he just had a brain biopsy this morning. Heard back from his wife Kelly Jo that went well. So now they have, hopefully they have what they need to figure it out. So, thinking about you guys up there and prayers for you
Yeah,
guys.
send them our prayers. Everyone get together and pray for them. And
Yeah.
it works. It works. So, for sure.
But with that,
Yeah. With that, anything else there, Hot Rod?
I don't know. I don't think so.
All right. I'm gonna probably make a few race debuts.
Are you?
This year? Yeah.
Are you gonna get in the Sportsman? I know it made it a little hard for you to get in. Made the window
It's a little
smaller.
tight. It's a
Yeah.
little tight, but I would like to. I would like to take it for a few laps, see what you're dealing with out there. But definitely Biscuit.
Mhm.
I don't know if you remembered, but I know you remembered. I don't know if the rest of you remembered. I caught him in Biscuit in the last race. I bared
Yeah.
down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Old Biscuit was up to her snuff. I tell you something about that car. It's not the prettiest. It's not the fanciest. It does not like to be beat by those fancy cars. And I'm telling you, when you give it what it needs, it will run down them straightaways. So I caught old Hot Rod here, and his spotter. What did his spotter say? What did Jay say?
I don't remember.
Yeah, 16 looking,
Yeah.
16 inside, 16. Old Biscuit was coming for that ass. So just so you know, and then the caution came out.
Yeah.
And then the caution came out. So I was excited about that heat race, and I don't know if I think I was third or something. So the feature. Biscuit got evil on me. I don't know who dropped oil down or what the deal was, but the car got she was very, very loose. But I'm telling you, we're not far. I just need
right?
I just need a little something. I'm gonna be on it. I'm gonna be on your butt. But
Well, I know we all love watching when
it's
you
a
two
blast.
are out there together.
It's a blast.
Yeah.
When I get the chance to see him or put a bumper to him, I do it.
Yeah.
I do
You
it.
got me twice.
I do.
Twice.
I knocked the
Once
shit
in a
out.
front stretch.
I
on
hit
a,
him.
On a
I hit
start.
him so hard. His helmet's looking at the roof of his race
I
car.
remember going into one. I had to physically grab my helmet and straighten it on my head. That's how hard you hit me. It twisted my helmet. That's how hard you hit
very good friend. I'm not gonna put him on blast, but a very good friend of mine told me
Put him
me
on
this.
blast.
I ain't gonna put him on
he'd,
blast.
He'd want the world to
He'd
know.
love it. Okay, all right. One of my closest friends, Randy Hacker, told me he was driving for somebody else, and this person kept blocking and blocking. Well, they put Randy in the car, and Randy says, "I know what to do." So I went down that straightaway, and I hit him so hard, he was looking at the roof. By the time he got to turn one, he couldn't wait to get out of my way. So that's what I did to this kid. I hit him so that ass end came up in the air, and I knew he had to say, "Oh my God, what is Dad trying to do to me?" When I set him back down, I knew he was going to get out of my way. But that stuck in my mind forever. But, we kid around. We're not trying to wreck each other.
Yeah.
You know what you can get away with
Yeah.
and what you can't get away
We're
with.
bump drafting.
Well, yeah. So, but that, I passed that on to Dylan. So any of you other competitors that get looking at the roof from Dylan, I'm sorry. Blame Randy.
Blame Randy.
But anyways, race hard. Race fairly clean. Don't spin them out. Just give them a good pump.
Yeah.
Want to put the checker flag out for the end of the year?
Yeah. And have a good happy new year, and we'll see you at the races. Go support local racing wherever it is.
You gonna get one of these this year?
I'm gonna try.
Okay.
Whether it be dirt or asphalt, support your local racing. Go karts. Support local racing wherever you're at.
We need to get Joe in a car this year.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's scary.
Yeah. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
Not in your little ass seats. I'm telling you, you're making it tough for all of us to get in these cars. But yeah, support your local racing, and we'll see you at the races.
Well said. All right. Thank you all.
Loki dog.